What would you share with others if you knew with 100% certainty that it was safe to share it? And how do you feel about sharing that right now? If your throat just tightened up or your stomach dropped or you thought, oh no, you may have a persecution wound. And stick around because in this video, I'm going to share with you what that is, how to know if you have it, and some steps that you can take to stop letting it block your light and your business so that you can make the difference that you started your business to make. Hi, my name's June Morrow, and I help emerging coaches and transformational consultants step out of isolation and into more authentic connections with messaging that inspires them and their ideal audiences. And if this is you and you're struggling with finding clients, I encourage you to download my free training below, How to Find Clients When Social Media Isn't Doing It For You. So last night I had this weird dream. I dreamt I was on a school bus trying to get this unruly child to settle down when the rector called me into his office. Now, I didn't know what a rector was until I woke up and looked it up, but afterwards it made total sense. So a rector is an Anglican or Roman Catholic priest. And this man called me in to question me on my unruly child and what I was doing with him. And that's when he noticed that I had 6 toes. Now, for the record, I have 5, but a quick internet search reveals that some people do indeed have 6 toes, including Kate Hudson, it's rumored, and tennis star Maria Sharapova. So people have 6 toes. In my dream, however, 6 toes was enough for the rector to put me on instant trial for being the devil. And then he similarly convicted me by opening a drain and flushing me down where I was sure to die, and that's when I woke up. And when I woke up, these 2 words, this phrase was going through my head: persecution wound. So what is a persecution wound? Well, a persecution wound is a feeling like if you speak your truth, you will be killed, you will be exiled, or you will come to great harm. And it's especially common with women who want to speak their spiritual truth. Now, some people, this makes no sense at all, but if you can relate to this, I want you to know it's very common with women who have woken up spiritually or in a time of spiritual awakening or have been called to be healers or light workers of some sort. So if you do relate, I would love for you to just write the words relate in the comments. So where does this come from? Well, some people say it traces back to a previous life. It might trace back through your lineage to a grandmother, a great-grandmother, great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, or grandfather. It might trace back to your childhood. It might trace back to being punished or belittled when you did speak out as a child. It might trace back to bullies or leaders or others in an institution who had power over you and silenced you. Or it may just come from historical legacy. Women throughout history, as well as mystics or anyone who stepped out of the current dogma accepted by those in power, have been persecuted for their beliefs. Think of the witch trials, where anyone who was different could be killed for, say, being a herbalist or masturbating or having 6 toes. And it's not just women that this happens to. I mean, think about the famous scientists back in the day who got locked in dungeons for years, some of them executed, for speaking their truth about what they were learning. Truths that the church at the time, the power at that time, did not want to hear. Or think of the early followers of Jesus, or Jesus himself, who was persecuted for going against the grain and threatening the status quo of the Romans and the rabbis at the time. So if who you are and what you know to be true is not accepted or espoused by those in power, it's very risky to speak it. And once upon a time, it meant death. Did you die in a previous life? I don't know. But I do know that the fear of rejection can sometimes feel like the fear of death, especially if it's something inside that hasn't been healed. So in this context, my dream makes perfect sense because I am called to help people connect with God, connect with themselves, and connect with each other. And in my personal life, I'm really attracted to progressive and mystical Christianity. I'm fascinated by Christianity. I want to get to know Jesus. I want to talk about Jesus, and that scares the F out of me because the Christ that I know is different from the Christ and the truths espoused in mainstream Christianity, especially around things like God's love and acceptance of LGBTQ people, about women. My interpretations of biblical passages are very different from fundamental or literalistic or legalistic interpretations. And I recently joined a new church, and I'm sussing out their level of tolerance and acceptance And for me to share my own truth around what Christ was teaching feels very risky. So, feeling like you don't belong in accepted spiritual circles or fear of being ousted in a spiritual circle is a sign of a persecution wound. What are some other signs that you might be suffering from a persecution wound? Well, a big one is fear of visibility. You don't publicly let other people know about your gifts or how you're feeling called to help the world. You don't write posts about them. You don't send out emails. You don't ask people to work with you. Other times you might not show your face. You might be really inspired to write interesting things, but you don't dare let anybody see you. That would be dangerous. Or maybe you feel like you have to be someone you aren't to be accepted in the world. So you fake it, right? You feel like you're pretending, but you're not shining your true, authentic light, the light that Spirit wants you to shine. You don't show up authentically. And it can show up as not trusting others to not turn against you, right? I know this one well. Maybe you don't trust women or men outside of your inner circle. If you were bullied for being you at any time, this is a natural thing to happen. Finally, you could have problems with your throat chakra. So maybe you get a lot of sore throats, or you have a chronic cough, or you lose your voice periodically. Sometimes it might feel like you're being choked or strangled and you can't understand why. I know this one well. Maybe you have an aversion to things being around your neck, or you need something around your neck to feel safe, right? If you relate to any of these, let me know. Put them in the comments. I've certainly suffered from all of them. So what can you do if you do have a persecution wound? Can you heal it? Well, yes, and really it's about trusting yourself and knowing that you are safe now, where you are today. So here are 5 practices that are going to help you feel safer. 1, connect with Source. Have a daily practice to connect with God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it, source, something that will connect you with the light. And this is important because it's going to give you strength. It's going to let you learn to hear what's going on inside of you, beyond what's going on around you. So this might be meditation. It might be singing. It might be journaling. It might be prayer. It might simply be sitting or walking. Do this daily to get connected to the truth inside. 2, call back your power. Here's a mantra that my friend gave me. I don't know where it came from originally, but it is powerful. And it goes like this. I call back my power from wherever I may have left it, from wherever I may have lost it, from wherever I may have given it away, and from wherever it was taken from me. I call back my power to its rightful place within me. I am guided by my power. I am rooted by my power. I am grounded in my power. Say this aloud every single day. It makes a difference. It brings your power back to you and out of your head. 3, find a community that gets you. Find your people. Look for Facebook groups. Look for people on YouTube. Google them. See what they're hosting. Look for workshops in your area. Now, sometimes you won't find anyone until you do the next step. And it's a very brave step, but you can do it starting small. And that's speak your truth in baby steps. You can start by just saying it aloud. Just practice speaking it to yourself. Get accustomed to your voice saying it. Maybe your truth is my spirit guides have important messages for this planet, or the answers are in the plants, or even my truth, which is God loves you, right? It can feel really risky. That felt super risky for me to say the first time I said it aloud, but now I'm much more comfortable with it, right? God created you with gifts that he wants you to bring, or it, universe, whatever you want to call it, wants you to bring into this world so you can uplift others. Another baby step is simply testing it. Post something on social media that's a little bit woo and see who reacts. And you'll be surprised how many people get you when you come out. But if it doesn't feel safe, come out of the spiritual closet slowly. And 5, spend time healing this part of you. By that I mean finding ways to love it. In the Authentic Messaging Academy, we do a powerful meditation where you access your inner child and you give it the love that it might not have had, or you might have had the capacity to give it when you needed it. It's important that you don't hate this wound, right? Like any block, it is simply trying to keep you safe. So it's a matter of building trust with it and it trusting you so that it knows that you can keep yourself safe now in the here and now. Guided meditations can help. Sometimes professional therapy can help. Sometimes shamanic practices, We're all drawn to different things. We all have different paths. You know, something that works for me is simply asking God for healing, giving it up to God and saying, God, please help me embody your love and help me feel your compassion and allow me to be compassionate to those parts of myself and allow me to see that fear is simply an illusion. Another mantra that I love is, I am always safe and divinely protected. And so are you. So if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button so more people will find it. Don't forget to subscribe for instant notification of more practical, spiritual, and other ways to be more visible in your coaching or transformational practice. And if you want to practice being more visible but feel like social media isn't the right route for you, you can also download my free masterclass, How to Find Clients When Social Media Isn't Doing It For You. The link is below. God loves you. You got this.